Hello guys, and welcome back to the Unity Survival Multiplayer server. I am Fenaqua, and this is actually Odyssey Matrix house. And so you can see we have a little sign here under construction, Redstone Renovations Inc. And that is the name of our new company, the Redstone Design Company. And we have our little shop set up. It's not quite ready yet. Didn't do pretty much anything beside what we did in the last episode at this point, but Odyssey had wanted some work done, so I said I would come on and see what I could do for him. And so let's go inside. Now we have our little sign in full view there. Ooh, sunset suddenly. Yeah, I love those things. Anyway, so yeah, we can see here we have redstone renovations, do not touch, RI, that's us. And basically what he wants us to do is to create an item sorting system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here, and this is going to be the input chest. So any items that he puts in here, it's going to come around, and we can go back here, because, oof, those frames. I really have to work on that chicken farm, I think, because there's so many hoppers back there, it's not even funny, and it's totally unnecessary. But anyway, yeah, so we have the chest here. Just kick things off. So basically what's going to happen is there's going to be a little hopper here. That's going to be completely invisible from the outside. So all you'll see is the chest. And then there will be a hopper here, and I think a dispenser here. We'll fire some water along this way, let it flow along here, and then we'll put it into a system over here where it will go into the chest, and it's going to require that the items rise up, so we may use our invisible item riser here just to keep things as uncomplicated as possible. We may start that like here, so we may fill this area in with blocks. We may actually have to do it back here. Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll probably do it like items will flow in here. We'll have like the fence posts maybe here and here. So that'll be these will be glass blocks or something like that. We'll have the item riser then right here. We'll pick it up to about here, or I'll actually probably have to go higher. But in any case, that's what's gonna happen. That's the plan here. This is what it looks like now, and we'll get a quick shot from the front too. I'm probably gonna do most of this off camera, and we'll just pop back in from time to time just to see how things are going, because otherwise that'll be a lot of boring like moving around and technical stuff. So, and we want to try and keep this here. He said we could move these villagers if we wanted, if it's needed, but I think we can work around them, and that should be fine. The tricky part, I believe, would be making it so it doesn't come up into the actual base. So what do we have here? It's like 1 block, 2 block, 3 blocks. We pretty much have 4 blocks to work with, which should be fine actually. It's actually quite a few blocks. Well, really we have 3 blocks. It can be in here, in here, in here, so this should be okay. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna do that. I'll just start you off just showing you what my plan is here. And just because hoppers are so weird and we need them to point in the right direction, we'll put that block there, and then that'll point into it. And we can go around and work on the rest of it. So I'll see you guys in just a minute when we have a little bit more of this done. Alright guys, welcome back. So we've been hard at work for actually a couple of days now, and we are just about finished with Odyssey's new item sorter in his base. So there's a couple things worth noting. We've made a couple of little changes. So we were originally asked to make an item sorter, and I was going to originally put it all the way around. However, that would have required many hoppers, and even redoing the chicken farm, which you may or may not have seen already, and reducing the hoppers by, we took out about 30 hoppers, reduced it down to about 6. So most of those went back into here actually, so the lag level is probably going to be about the same. So like I said, most of the hoppers went back in here, so I am not going to do that side. I started on this side, so I just finished up here, and Odyssey doesn't know that yet, but he's going to have to move all the stuff out of these chests. I've done most of the work here, so a couple of things. I've left this last one just to show you guys how it's done. There's going to be another video out today probably where we'll go a little bit more in depth on item sorters and item movers in the design shop series, but this is just a little sneak preview slash let's play version. So we have actually a unique challenge in this one because the chests were already lined up in a double stack each. We couldn't do the regular single tile item sorter. That one's really easy. You know, nice and easy. Just 2 hoppers work for the system with a 3rd line going above it. If we look back here, and you can see here the 2 double chests. If we look back here, you can see that we have 3 hoppers. Pardon the Skype. There's the one on top, and that's bringing items across. This one is testing 4 items, and these ones are all empty because Odyssey, I'm going to leave that for him, and we'll bring him into a call probably in a little bit. And we will show him how it's done if he doesn't know already. Just give him an idea of what to do there. And so this basically what we have over here, and we can take actually these out because these aren't strictly necessary at this point. So basically what we have happening here is this is the regular, on the right side, this is the regular item sorting system. You know, you've got this one that's pointed just away from this bottom one, and this one just feeds in. So this one is basically the one that tests, and this just feeds into the chest. On the other side, and you can see it actually over here because this one is not finished because I need a walkway. On the other side, we actually have to divert it over to the side. Hello! Yeah, we have to divert it over to the side, bring it down and put it to the side. Now luckily, he built this recessed into the wall, so you can't see the extra hopper. It's not like it sticks out next to it. Oh, he's up there fighting. Yeah, so it looks nice from the side, even though there is a lot of a bit of extra work that had to go into the side because you need these torches, not these 2 torches, but these torches down here in this position. And if you just bring it down into it with another hopper, that will not work because it won't be able to affect this 3rd hopper in the line. Anything after that is just for removing items. It's not for the actual item sorting itself. So let's put these back here before I forget. Alright, so yeah, and then this system, you know, we'll talk a little bit more about this in the other episode, and I'm going to put a little annotation up on the screen here right now, if I haven't already at some point, so you can, oh, he's just coming to check this out. So you can go over there and check that out. It's going to be a, hopefully a short little video. I haven't actually recorded it yet. But yeah, and you can get a good sense of item, wow, he's looking for me. Of item sorters, item movers, and things like that. Some alternatives to hopper chains, maybe. Over here, can we see it from? No, we have to go around the other side. We do include a an invisible itemizer, and it's one of my favorite builds, which I may have mentioned already in a previous video or two, and we'll talk about that for sure. Basically, this is the input chest, and it's going to lead around the back. We did manage to avoid the villager there, which is nice. Right, and then we're coming in over here. So we've got a little walkway here, and this is going to stay, so if he needs to do any maintenance or any changing things around, he can do it from down here. So actually here you can see the invisible itemizer. It's just tiles, it's just blocks, regular blocks. In this position, basically what happens is items slip past the first fence into the second fence, which because it's linked up to 4 blocks around it and blocks above it, the item tries to escape, and the only path it has, it doesn't have any path right next to it, so it goes up and up and up, and it keeps testing for blocks around it until it reaches an empty block on top, and then water pushes it into this hopper, mainly because I didn't want to add an extra hopper right there. You can just have it open up onto the regular hopper, but this works fine. So yeah, items come this way and then into the item sorter, and so test there. If it works, it falls into here, and yeah, so we'll talk about that later, but I just want to show you real quick in this Let's Play Survival series how easy this is. Basically, you need a block in this this configuration, so actually with one there as well. So that needs to be a block. So just this L shape, and then this little slash across the side here. And you can see that we've already done that there. But we can take these blocks out, I believe. Yes, this looks fine. And then I can just shove up there. And then basically what you can do is just add a comparator. This will read the items in the in this hopper here, and we're going to set it to, I believe it's 22, although I'm going to have to double check that because I keep forgetting. And so when a 23rd item, when it basically, like I say, this was full of bones, if a bone comes in, it'll come down, that'll be the 23rd item, it'll tick into the second redstone, which we're going to put right here, bam bam. So this will be on most of all the time, and then when the 23rd item comes on, this activates, which then activates this repeater, which will turn off this torch, which is going to go down here. Why, yes I am. Yeah, and so that lets one item out, and then bam, you've got your bones in the chest. So then we can just do the same for the second one here. Bang, bang. Add their little repeater down here, and then finally the redstone torch. And there we go. So the item sorter itself is done. All that needs to happen now is for Odyssey to come through and add to these chests any item, whatever items he wants, and we'll talk more about them. We'll talk more about them in a little bit. Yes, you are famous now. Say hi, guys. Say hi to Miak. Miak, how are you? All right, we'll come back in just a minute when we have Odyssey with us. Hello and welcome back. I'm Fenaqua, and this is an item sorter. As you can see, we are not on the server anymore. We are in a creative world. And that is because after finally getting with Odyssey, after several weeks of being finished and just waiting for that last touch on the video, the microphone didn't pick up any of my voice. So, sad face. So instead of having his reaction and the walkthrough with him, what we're going to do is just walk you guys through real quick of the basic theory behind a redstone item sorter and an invisible item mover. So to start things off, this is the item sorter, and if you look down here, we'll look at the endpoint first. These are going to be the chests where we are sorting things into, so you can see all the things that we have set up here. And if we look into this middle hopper, this is actually the important one. So you can see here, this is sorting for iron, and these are here just as extra items. You can also fill this with, say, blocks of iron, although with blocks of iron it's probably a little bit expensive. You can probably do this more with bones. I would be filling it up with a bunch of them in here, and not necessarily just 5. I think you would be doing 22 bones, and that would be any item with a 64 stack. You can just use signs really cheap because they only stack to 16, so they count as more when they are being read by a comparator. Very quickly though, let's just run up here to the input, which is what this chest is. This feeds items into this first row of hoppers, and they are going to test first for a downward acceptance, and obviously unless it is a diamond block or a sign, it won't allow it in here. So then it'll move along, same thing, so it'll keep testing for all of these different items here, and when it gets to this last chest, if it still doesn't find a comparator in here, then it'll go into the junk chest. So let's look at this real quick. So we can throw in some diamonds, and obviously that will end up in our junk chest, and haha, we're a redstone tutorial. We can make those jokes. We can also throw in, and it's not moving out because this is a trap chest, so it's giving a redstone signal into the hopper while we have it open. So we can have the diamonds there. We'll have some diamond blocks, do some chests, the hoe, and a couple of giant jungle saplings, and a couple of repeaters, and these guys. There we go. Alright, and so now those will start filtering down, and if we go over here, you can see diamonds coming in and going out, and so there's only one in the hopper at any given time, and there we go, they're all done. And now more items coming through. If we go down here, you can see them flowing in, and there we go, we should be done. So yeah, all the items are out of here. And if we go over to the junk chest first, you can see diamonds, comparator. Why is there a comparator in there? That's actually an interesting question. Why is there a comparator in there? We'll come back to that in a little bit. For now, though, we're going to look at diamond blocks. Diamond blocks work just fine. One did get stuck in there, which is interesting. These signs perhaps are not the perfect item as I thought they were. Anyway, five signs and 2 of the items are what you need. And any item really. You can do snowballs, you can use bones, you can use string, you can use rotten zombie flesh to fill in these last spots. As long as the one that you are sorting for is in this first slot, we're going to turn it to day real quick. Time set 800, 900, whatever that works to. Yeah, as long as that item is in the first slot, you're going to be fine. A couple of caveats with this system. You cannot put whatever item you're filling in cannot be one that you're sorting for, because obviously it's going to be sorted in here. So we cannot sort for signs in this system. We cannot put signs in as a junk item. If we put signs in, it will break the system. Well, not necessarily break the system, but it will mean that you're going to end up with signs in your chests, and that's not cool. If we look around the back, we'll look at the science behind this. And you can scale it down. This looks very complicated, but really you can scale it down to just 1. And we'll go out here and build this actually real quick for you guys to see. So we'll just use that as our base point. So yeah, basically how it starts is with a comparator on this block. And that block is going to get a hopper facing into it, out of it, away from it. As long as it's not facing into another hopper, you're fine. Another block here. And you're going to want to make this L shape here. And then, and then a block like this underneath that shape, and a block like that. So basically a little L shape and a little slash off to the side. And so what this is going to do is allow us to grab some redstone. There we go. You can put it right there. And that will go along this way. That just gives it the tick length. So that's reading the analog signal, and that's going to be a function of that. And then down here we'll do a repeater, and we'll explain that in just a second, feeding into a redstone torch. And it's at this point that that's going to be where the chest is going to go, with a hopper facing into that. So that is just your transport hopper. And then the hopper that would actually be feeding stuff off to the side is going to be facing off along this way into more hoppers and more hoppers off that way, or chest, either way. So basically how this works is we have our signs and our 2 items that we want to sort for. And so you can see that that gives it 1 signal. Now if we put we're going to put that there for now, and that's just going to stop any, well, no, we don't even need that, because now it can't go anywhere. So if we put a 3rd item into there, see how it activates this second tick of redstone? What that does is power this block here, and then this repeater can suck the signal out of that block, push it into this block, and that turns off this torch. Now if we take that 1 out, you can see that it goes back to just being a 1 tick length. This is unpowered and this is unpowered. So what this means is that while this is powered, the hopper that is here can't accept items. So basically what happens is if this was not here, if you had something that was just like this, it would just fall through, right? So because this is pointing in a different direction, that's the direction it's going to try and put items into. This hopper will try and suck items out though, which is why items will tend to float down first. And the thing is though, if this hopper is powered, it can't suck items. So that leaves only this hopper to push its items out, and obviously this hopper has nowhere to push its items out to. So it stays in here. When it gets the signal and this is allowed to pull items, it pulls the item and goes on through, and that's how this system works. Very simple, very tileable. So obviously this is an item sorter here. You can sort for 1 item and just move them along. You can put a little chest over here, dispenser, anything like that, and you can put something like that on this side too. So a dispenser into lava. Kinema on the Unity server has something like that at the Zombie Pigman farm. Okay, so the next part of the equation, as far as Odyssey's system, is the invisible item sorter that I've mentioned a couple times, or sorry, the invisible item riser that I've mentioned a couple times. And this is all it is. It's no redstone, it's just taking advantage of some funny little game mechanics, and it's a very, very cool, cheap, and easy system once you know the principle behind it. So we have here basically just the delivery method. In this case, it's going to be the water flow, and this is on top of ice. So let's just show you how it works real quick. Really easy. Just we'll pop it right in there. Just a few items. You can see there's a little break there to help items collect, and they go right up to the top. And let's do that again. We'll get a little bit better of a shot. Just throw a few items in. Up we go. You can see it goes up, 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 up. And there we go. So from this side, it may look like that's an empty tube. It is actually not. It's a cross, and it's built just like this. Just a nice, easy cross. So there's a couple things you can do with this. This goes on pretty much forever. As long as the items are loaded, this will work. And this is a really good, cheap, and easy way, and lag-free way of transporting items over long distances and then transporting them upwards. You can also reintroduce them to the same system to make a little, I don't know, some kind of artwork. If you just have them go up a water stream up here, say, you can then push it off to the side. The items will come up here, and then with the water stream that is represented by this, you could then push it off to the side, and you could run this off in any kind of direction that you would so desire. Another thing with this, too, that you can do is if we put some blocks here, we can put a dispenser here, or a dropper, or a chest, or whatever we want to do, and we can put a little hopper facing into it. And now when we put, say, some arrows, we can be nice and devious. Chuck a whole bunch of those in there. Watch them rise up to the surface. They get sucked into that hopper because they pop right on top of it. Usually. These ones did not. They are being difficult. Easy fix though. Lots of different ways you can handle this. You can put the hopper on the bottom and you can actually do one of these. It just takes a little bit of fiddling because, like I said, this is kind of a mechanic that you're taking advantage of when you do this. So just throw that into the water stream here. You can hear it splash down, go in, and go right up top. And in we go. Oh, and it doesn't want to do it. Anyway, well, it does work. Sometimes. Then you can put a redstone signal or anything you want on there. In this case, it doesn't work because it actually goes past the hopper and then up on top of this because they do act as full blocks in this case. Basically, here is how it works, though. Times set 900 again. Why not? Basically, the way it works is when you throw an item in, it goes along. The ice helps it speed up. This block is here to catch any items. It sort of coalesces them into one group of sprites rather than having a whole bunch of them go up, because if they try and group up in here, it tends to gum up the works a little bit. And they lag out and things like that. But basically, this curve is very important to the system. It forces an item off to this side. Oops, to this side. And if I drop a couple items in, you'll see that at work. See how it goes right against this wall and then goes past there. If I just put an item in, you can see it kind of gets stuck there. Sometimes they work their way past, but usually they do get stuck there forever like that. So that curve is very, very important to this. And I mentioned this a little bit in the video, but basically what we do is the item comes in here, it slips past this block because it acts as a transparent block because it has no connection. These blocks here, these three solid blocks, are very important because those connections make it then act as a solid block, this fence post, as well as being connected to this one. So it has nowhere to go. It looks for ways to go. It sees there's a block here. It sees there's a block in each of these other three directions, so it goes up to the next level. Now these ones can be transparent. They can be full blocks. Doesn't matter. They're transparent glass blocks in my case because I just want you to be able to see what's going on. You can very easily just slap this thing under some like 20 blocks of stone, 60 blocks of stone, whatever you want to do, and hide a little item riser underneath somebody's base, or raise it up to your sky base, you know, whatever you need to do here. So yeah, but what happens is it comes up to the next level. So it sees on its level, it sees that there is no other acceptable space for the item to exist in. So it rises up, and then it looks again, sees nothing, rises up, sees nothing, rises up, all the way to the top, until it finally does, until it finally comes to the top. And now if we were to continue this pattern and put these here and then say add another couple, it would stop here, and we'll see that at work now. Raise it, put a couple in, you can see they're together now, up to the top, and it's going to come off to the side. See, right there. And it did happen to be closest to this side, so it comes out to that side. You know, very logical things. And same deal if we have it rising up like this, and then we just forget to put it in one space. We won't bother going up that high. Say we just forget to put it in there, that's going to break it too. It'll see that that is an acceptable way for it to get out, and it will take it. There we are. And it falls off to the side. Never said it was perfect. Alright, So yeah, that's the invisible item sorters. The only thing to, basically the three things that you need to remember are the water should have a bend. Ice is a very big plus. This fence post needs to have 2 transparent blocks on the side. The second one has to have 3 solid blocks around it. And then the third thing is just remember to do a cross shape all the way up. Any break in that and the item will find a way to escape. Alright guys, so that's all the theory that went into Odyssey Matrix item sorter. Obviously the design is a little different, but that is the gist of it. So thank you so much for watching. I know this was a bit of a longer one and a bit more technical than maybe you are used to, but I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate your comments, your likes, and telling all your friends about what an awesome time you had watching. So thank you so much. Have a great, awesome day, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.